If you haven't already guessed what this video is about from the title or thumbnail, it is simple. Subscriptions are getting out of control. Today, almost everything is locked behind a recurring payment. What started as a convenience has slowly turned into a widespread problem, and it all began with streaming. Streaming. Streaming was supposed to replace cable. It was supposed to revolutionize how we watch the media. The promise was clear: cheaper prices, fewer or no commercials, and massive libraries of movies and TV shows, centralized on a single platform. Most importantly, streaming gave schedule. You didn't choose when shows aired, and if you missed it, you missed it. Streaming changed that entirely. For a long time, it worked. Prices were lower, shows and movies became easier to access, and watching content on demand felt freeing. Entire seasons could be watched at once, creating the binge-watching culture we know today. A wide range of media could be accessed with just one or two services at most, and compared to cable, streaming felt like the future done right. The downfall of streaming. Over time, however, the promises made by streaming companies began to fall apart. Major prices didn't jump overnight, but they slowly and consistently increased. Ads, once a major reason people left cable, returned and became normalized, even on paid plans. Content became fragmented, spread across dozens of platforms, meaning that watching your favorite show now required subscriptions to multiple services instead of just one or two. Password sharing, which was once openly encouraged, became restricted as companies searched for ways to maintain growth. According to research summarized by the Michigan Journal of Economics, streaming platforms began tightening policies and shifting their strategies. As subscriber growth plateaued, prioritizing revenue extraction over user experience. What was once consumer-friendly slowly transformed into something familiar and frustrating. Today, streaming no longer feels like an escape from cable. Instead, it mirrors many of the same problems: rising costs, ads, locked content, and limited flexibility. The system that was designed to simplify entertainment has become the blueprint for the modern subscription economy, where access, not ownership, is the norm, and monthly payments is never gonna seem to end. Michigan Journal of Economics also says the streaming service industry transformed how people watch media by offering a cheaper, more flexible alternative to cable TV, beginning with Netflix's shift to online streaming in 2007 and influenced by platforms like YouTube. Early streaming succeeded by removing schedules and ads, enabling on-demand viewing and binge watching, and rapidly grew into a massive global industry. As competition increased in the 2020s, content became spread across many platforms, forcing households to subscribe to multiple services. To compete, companies invested heavily in original content and mergers, leading to high costs, debt, and financial losses for many providers. When subscriber growth slowed, companies responded by cracking down on password sharing and introduced ad-supported plans, moves that undermine many of streaming's original advantages over cable. Today, while streaming remains dominant, rising prices, ads, and consumer frustrations have created uncertainty about the industry's future, with outcomes ranging from consolidation into a cable-like system to renewed growth through innovation and expansion.
NVIDIA. Wikipedia explains their history quite nicely. NVIDIA is a US-based technology company founded in 1993 that began with graphics cards for gaming and evolved into a global leader in AI and high-performance computing. Through innovations like CUDA, NVIDIA has expanded GPUs beyond gaming into data centers, supercomputers, and artificial intelligence, where it now dominates the market. By 2025, NVIDIA controls most of the GPU markets for both consumer graphics and AI workloads. It powers the majority of the world's top supercomputers and plays a central role in the global AI boom. The dominance pushed the companies past major valuation milestones, making it one of the most valuable and influential tech companies in the world. Apart from making GPUs and having an impact in the AI infrastructure, they have a cloud gaming software named GeForce Now. NVIDIA cloud gaming service GeForce Now was first introduced in 2013 under the name NVIDIA Grid as a beta service. It later evolved and officially launched to the public as GeForce Now in February 2020. In short, 2013 had the first cloud gaming beta, NVIDIA Grid, and in 2020 they had the full public launch known as GeForce Now. NVIDIA rolled out GeForce Now subscription systems in February 2020 when the service officially exited beta. At launch, they introduced free tier, limited sessions linked in queues, founder subscriptions, paid monthly plan with priority access, and longer play sessions. They had later expansions, such as 2021 when they introduced priority tier, replaced founders for new users, and in 2022 they had the RTX 3080 tier, higher price premium plan. 2023 they rebranded to Ultimate tier. Unfortunately, it's gotten even worse with subscription creeps and restrictions. Take cloud gaming for example. NVIDIA GeForce Now recently introduced a hard cap of 100 per month on playtime, even on its highest paid plan, starting in 2026. Once you hit 100 hours, you have to buy extra time in expensive blocks just to keep playing. Price gouging and tiered editions. The cost of games keeps rising and it's becoming normal. AAA titles, they used to be $60 and now $80 to $100. And deluxe, special, or multiple editions are the standards. Alibaba reports publishers now sell games in tiers, standard edition being $70, deluxe edition being $80 to $90, and collector's edition being $150 to $200, often including just a statue or art book. This isn't innovation, it's charging more for the same content, forcing players to pay extra for features that should have been included in the base game. At the same time, hardware costs have exploded. Games Radar Plus reports that the average console and PC hardware is now $200 higher than in 2019, pushing some players away from buying the machines needed to play modern games. Between rising game prices and expensive hardware, gaming is becoming increasingly unaffordable for many players. Number 2, monetization over gameplay. The industry has shifted from one-time purchases to ongoing monetization. In 2024, CCN reported that 58% of PC gamers' spending went towards microtransactions, like battle game passes and cosmetics, while spending on full game purchases declined. Major story-driven games like Assassin's Creed Shadows now includes optional, purchasable cosmetics, boosts, and other items in an in-game shop on top of the full price of the game, something Ubisoft defended by saying these purchases help fund ongoing updates. Even cheap or free-to-play games are designed to maximize spending. It is said that half of the most played PC games have average prices under $20, while only a tiny fraction of the top breaks $50. Players are drawn to low-cost or free-to-play content, but monetization systems ensure companies make money through constant spending rather than ownership of a complete game. The result: players are now paying more for less. Games are now designed to keep players spending, not to provide quality gameplay. Publishers rely solely on battle passes, cosmetics, and tiered editions, effectively turning games into subscription-like revenue machines. Number 3, sky-high budgets and risk-chasing live service games. Modern games are financial juggernauts. Cyberpunk 2077, for example, cost over $400 million, including development, marketing, and post-launch fixes. One bad release can destroy a studio, and that risk has shifted the entire industry towards playing it safe. Creativity becomes liability, and innovation is sacrificed for predictable revenue. This is why almost every major studio is chasing the next Fortnite. Companies like EA, Ubisoft, and Sony openly emphasize live service games in investor calls because recurring revenue looks better than a one-time purchase. GameIndustry.biz and VG Charts report that the most major studios now develop or maintain at least one live service title. The problem? Many live service games quickly launch unfinished, rely solely on battle passes and cosmetics, and shut down quickly if they fail to keep an audience. Games are built around retention and monetization metrics, not for fun or innovations. Studios recycle content, push microtransactions, and chase short-term revenue, leaving players frustrated while the industry profits billions. The gaming industry isn't failing because the people stopped caring. It's failing because publishers are too afraid to innovate, too focused on profit, and too obsessed with copying successful formulas like Fortnite. Players end up paying more for less, while creativity, depth, and quality are slowly being erased from the medium. Streaming is losing its grip. Piracy and churn are rising. Streaming was supposed to kill piracy, but that isn't how things are going. The industry that once dominated media consumption is now struggling under its own weight. Even though nearly 1.8 billion people globally subscribe to streaming services, in 2025, growth is slowing and consumers are canceling out of frustration. SQ Magazine reports that 39% of US viewers canceled at least one paid streaming service in the past 6 months, with costs cited as a top reason. Ad supported plans are growing. Nearly 46% of premium subscriptions now include ads, but these cheaper tiers suffer higher churn rates than ad free plans. People are tired of rising costs and intrusive advertisements, making free or cheaper alternatives more appealing. Piracy is rising. Again, piracy isn't dead, it's growing. A 2025 report from InnoRain shows that 54% of on demand video streaming services, platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Prime Video, lost revenue to piracy before adopting stronger protections. In some cases, piracy cuts revenues by up to 25%. In some countries, piracy consumption is shockingly common. A study from India found that 23% of households consumed pirated content daily and 29% more than once a week, even though legal streaming costs are very low. Another forecast from Parks Associates predicts that streaming piracy could cause cumulative US revenue losses topping 113 billion by 2027 as piracy rates climb. These patterns paint a stark reality. As streaming services stack higher prices and fragmented libraries, more people are turning to unauthorized ways to watch what they want, when they want it. Why people are pirating again? Research shows many users turn to piracy not just because it's free, but because they don't feel streaming offers fair value anymore. A Deloitte study found that viewers who pirate content are more likely to say streaming isn't worth the price and prefer paying only for the specific shows or movies they want rather than a monthly subscription. Consumer backlash. Podcast episodes, news clips, and social media accounts have highlighted real backlash. For example, when Disney raised prices in 2025, millions of subscribers dropped services in protest. New York Post reported 1.7 million cancellations following the price hike. Growing churn and piracy surge shows that streaming model's biggest strength, choice and convenience, is now becoming its biggest weakness. If you found this breakdown helpful, feel free to subscribe. I'll be digging into the numbers, the trends, and the decisions reshaping the industry, be it those they wish us to pay attention or not. Thanks for watching.